Hello, friends. It's Uncle Larry, tombukovac, from Cleveland, Ohio, with a little history lesson for you today about the Gibson Firebird, one of my favorite guitars of all time. As you well know, I've been joking around calling myself the Birdman of Nashville. Been through a lot of birds, and I'm just fascinated with these guitars. And today I've got something very special to show you, and a really cool story to tell you about Gibson Firebirds. This one right here is the one I've had forever. Okay, it's a fairly beat up old 64 Firebird 5. Okay, now there was 4 models of Firebirds. They were all odd numbers: the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7. And I'm talking about the reverse models here. The 1 was very Spartan with 1 pickup, as you saw a couple of videos ago, that sort of primitive one I had. The 3 has 2 pickups and it's got dot inlays and a couple other features. The 5 is a little more pimped out with the crown inlays like a Les Paul, 2 pickups, 2 pneumatic bridge. This is a different bridge I had put on here because, you know, I have to be perfectly in tune. And then the Firebird 7 was the really pimped model like Brian Jones played, with the 3 pickups, gold hardware, Les Paul custom type appointments with the ebony board and big blocks. Okay, we all know that, right? Now, you know, I've had a lot of Firebirds, and this is probably this one right here is the one I'll always keep. This is my favorite one I've ever had, for a lot of reasons. It's just the best sounding one I've had, the best playing one I've had. But there's something cool about all the other models, right? But now, you guys remember a while back when I showed you that really early prototype bird? See, this model wasn't introduced until 1963, mid-63 they came out. They were designed by a guy named Ray Dietrich, who was a automaker, like a custom car builder. Gibson hired him to make a guitar design. Even he wasn't a guitar player. And I always wondered if when they paid him and they got done with it, you know, if they finally said, "Okay, Ray, what do you got?" And he showed them the guitar, they were like, "Oh, wow, we kind of already have a guitar that looks like that." I wonder if it was like that, because it is very similar to an Explorer in a lot of ways. But it's custom. It's a unique design with the neck through. You know, a lot of cool things happening here on this guitar that are very unusual. The giant headstock with the banjo tuners and the whole bit. Okay, so you guys remember a long time ago, years ago, I got a hold of what a lot of people consider it to be the very first Firebird ever made, okay? It was see, most of these you're ever going to find, the earliest ones are going to be 1963 serial numbers, okay? Now, years ago, this one came into Groons, okay? Years ago, and no one knew what to make of it. Very unusual guitar. I mean, look at that truss rod cover. Can you see that? Plastic banjo tuners, totally unusual neck heel. Look how close the bridge pickup is to the bridge. Not like that on production models. This guitar was disassembled and looked at by some of the heaviest hitters in the whole Gibson, or the whole vintage guitar world. Phil Jones, Edwin Wilson, rest his soul, and all the people at Groons. No one knew what to make of it. So the pots date to 1962 on this guitar. So there was all this speculation, is this some kind of prototype, right? Obviously, lots of things have been done. This guitar has been refinished, headstock repair, obviously missing the original pick guard, but most of it is still there, including that unbelievable one-off truss rod cover, which I'm gonna show you real close. Can you get in there? It's so bizarre. So I bought this guitar, and all these people were looking at it. No one knew quite what to make of it. Even George himself didn't know what this was when he first saw it. Okay, I ended up with this guitar, and I just thought it was super cool. I knew it was some kind of an early prototype, but I didn't have any kind of like real proof, right? So a few months back, I got this email from this guy that lives up in Columbus, Ohio. We'll call him Lance for the sake of this video. And he showed me pictures of another one. His is frost blue. I'll show you some pictures here in my video. I'll edit them in. Same. Same exact guitar. It has features of a Firebird 1, 3, 5, and 7 all put in the same guitar. It's got the crazy Brazilian headstock overlay. They had the plastic tuners. It had the same truss rod cover. It had the same pickups that were, if you take these pickups out, you look at the construction of the pickups is completely different than the prototype, than the actual production models. The way the metal is bent on the covers and stuff, it's prototype stuff. It had the same, his has a giant like ivory handle, lyre vibrola, really cool looking frost blue original finish. God knows what color this guitar was when it was original, before it got refinished. But it had all the same features. And we talked on the phone for like an hour, and he was like, dude, does your guitar have this? I was like, yep. He goes, does your guitar have this? Yep, all the same stuff. His had a broken headstock repair, but it's really way more original than this one, right? Same 62 pots, the whole bit. So we were laughing, comparing, everything was the same on both these guitars. So it basically validated that both of these guitars were completely prototypes, right, in 1962. But he said that he heard some folklore along the way that there was a third one that was made. They made 3 prototypes. And he said that he had heard folklore myth that the third one was a humbucker model. No one knows. I haven't been able to find it. I know that Firebird 1 I just bought is a very early one, and it's got some prototype type features, but not like this guitar. This thing is just loaded with things that are super unusual, that nobody could explain. So what I proposed was that we get this guitar, the blue one that we found, sent down to Groons. The guy agreed, send it down to Groons, and we're going to do like a big article in Vintage Guitar about it, or something like that. Something that really goes into detail, showing, you know, how these guitars were, you know, just absolutely the earliest ones ever made. And I'll show you, just as a point of interest, like how I'll compare the pickups on this prototype to the one I've got, this production model, right? Like you'll see, like the bridge pickup on this guitar is so close to the bridge. I mean, it is bright as hell. So here's the bridge pickup, right? So here's the bridge pickup on that production model. Totally different animal, as you'll see. Here's the neck pickup on this 63, 64. Now here's the neck pickup on the prototype. Okay. So the crazy thing about this guitar is the neck is humongous on this prototype. It's like really big, fat, bulbous neck, you know. Look at these crazy tuners on this thing. So unusual. Look at this headstock overlay. Really bizarre. So look forward to that down the road. I do, getting that other blue one down here for evaluation, and we'll do a little article about it. We'll have some fun and shed a little light on what we know so far about these early birds. I mean, the funny thing about that, the blue one was that the guy who owned it has had it for a long time. And he took it down to Grun's years ago, and George evaluated it, and George didn't know what it was. And he wrote this ridiculously low appraisal because he thought it was like an employee-made sort of, you know, like one of the Gibson employees took a bird husk and sort of made it himself, you know, which absolutely is not true. But at the time, he just didn't know, because no one knew about these. So here they are. We've got 2 of the original 3 maybe located. So anybody out there knows anything, hopefully this article that we're going to do is going to draw up some interest in the fact that, you know, maybe we can find that 3rd one, if in fact there was one, you know. All that to be said, Firebirds are just the coolest guitars, and you guys know it. They're amazing, and it's just fun to look into the history of these things, you know. Take care, people. Hope you enjoyed the old Firebird Odyssey. All right, talk to you later. Bye.